Hi everyone, this is Heba from My Little Journal, and today I'm really excited to be working in my traveler's notebook again. And I'm going to be documenting this 4x8 photo of my hydrangeas. It is one of my favorite plants in my garden, and I really love this rainbow pattern, so I'm going for it. I don't want to cover all of it up, so I decided to trim my photo in half and add it to each side of my spread. I love doing this because it makes my TN spread look larger than what it really is, and it gives me space on both sides of my photo to add journaling and stamping. So I'm going to start by using my Close to My Heart products here. This is the Chronicle Type Alphas. It is beautiful, bold, and large. It's one of my favorite alphas from Close to My Heart. And I'm going to stamp spring on one side of my layout, and the opposite side, I want to bring in color from the pattern paper. That rainbow is just beautiful. So I also want to bring in black, and that's why you can see me here stamping spring with black ink, because it's bold and it will kind of stand out with the background. So I'm going with kind of muting one side with the rainbow pattern paper using some black ink, and then I'm going to bring in color to the opposite side, and you'll see what I'm talking about in a bit. But once I finish stamping spring, I can start working on the opposite side. Now I have a stamp set from Close to My Heart. I think this one's called Simple Flowers. It's the perfect floral stamp to add a pop of color to any layout. And I'm going to use the flowers and my ink pads to bring in the colors from the left side of my spread. So I start with this beautiful smoothie ink pad from Close to My Heart. I'll also use the saffron, I believe, the leaf green. I'm going to link all the colors I use down in the description box for you, but I am kind of grabbing the colors from my rainbow pattern paper to create this cluster of flowers and leaves. I even stamped some of the leaves directly on my project just because I wanted to add that depth and layering to my cluster. But most of it I'm going to stamp on this white paper, trim it out, and then start creating my cluster of flowers and leaves on the opposite side of my spread. As you guys know, I love stamping on sticker paper, but when I'm creating a cluster and I want to add depth and layers, I like to stamp on white paper. It just helps add that depth, if that makes sense. If you added it to sticker paper, you really just get a lot of flatness, if that makes sense. But I just like using white paper when I want to create a cluster. I'm also trying it out at this point, and I love the layering. But before I stick everything down, I know I want to add journaling. And one of my favorite spots to add journaling is a tag. So I went through my Studio Calico Color Theory tags, and I grabbed this beautiful purple. I ran it through my printer, and as you can see, I'm removing the tape from the back. I usually tape it to white paper and then just run it through my printer. That way I know it's going to print in the right spot. I'm going to add a border to my tag just to add some depth. I'll also grab a word sticker just to break down that purple. So I go with just plain white word sticker. And I'm going to, of course, add some twine. I love adding the twine. It adds some texture. And then I'm going to go ahead and stick it down and start working on my cluster of flowers. Now that I have my tag stuck down, I can start working on my cluster of flowers. When I create clusters, like I said earlier, I stamp directly on my spread, and I'll also stamp on white paper, trim it out so it gives depth. I also, when a cluster is very, very bright and colorful, I will try to squeeze in some black ink. And what I mean by that this stamp had this like cluster of plus signs. So I'm going to use the plus sign stamp to add some black ink to the cluster of flowers. And that way it makes everything kind of mellow down a little bit and it adds an extra depth and layer to my cluster. So you can see me here, I grab my black ink. I'm gonna stamp the cluster of plus signs here and there, and it adds a lot of depth to my cluster. Now I'm almost done with my spread. I remembered that I have the plant parent stamp set from Everyday Explorers. So I grabbed it and there was a circle stamp that said plants make me happy. So I'm going to use it to stamp on white paper, trim it out, and just add it to my title. And that way everything flows nicely, everything looks great. I love how fast and easy the spread came together, and I got to document my favorite flower. But anyways, you guys, don't forget, I will be adding all the links down in the description box for you. I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and if you did, please give me a thumbs up. And if you are new to my channel, please consider subscribing. And I hope to see you guys very soon. Bye.